everybody. I'm Brian, and welcome to a special end-of-the-year edition of Inside LHS. Today we have a special guest, and that's Headmaster of Lawrence High School, Mr. Fiato.
Thanks for having me.
And we have one topic on today's show, and that is what will be happening on the Lawrence High School campus next school year. Some of the questions we came up with and some other questions are from random answered juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. Welcome, Mr. Fiato.
Thank you for having me.
Before we jump into those questions about next year, we want to go back to when we did this show last year. We talked about changes for this 2016-2017 school year. Tell us how the school year has been. What would you say about the things you put into place at the beginning of this school year?
So actually I'd like to talk about things that we did 2 years ago, which was to implement a ninth grade academy here at Lawrence High School. The goal of the ninth grade academy is to work on 8th to 9th grade transitions to give our ninth graders an opportunity to get some foundational support, to get receive some targeted instruction, and to personalize the experience by having the teams break down into cohorts. This school year, we kept the 9th grade academy and added a 10th grade academy. We also added a sophomore class for the Abbott Lawrence Academy. And we continue to have build on year 2 of the Enlace program, which is a program for newcomers here on the Lawrence High School campus. So with all of those changes happening, I would say overall it has been a great year. However, because of all the changes, it has taken people some time to get used to the changes, and students, staff, and faculty have been working very hard to make those adjustments. So I think we're going to be going into next year with a very positive attitude, because we were able to kind of build on the first 2 years of the redesign, and now we're heading into year 3 of the redesign.
Okay. First, tell us, when does the 2017-2018 school year start, date, and time?
So the calendars have been released, and they're on the Lawrence Public School website. The freshmen are going to be coming back a couple of days earlier on the 16th. So that they can get a few days alone on the campus to get to know the campus. You probably remember when you were a freshman, coming from a middle school, you walk into this big Lawrence High School campus and you're not sure, where do I go? Where's my locker? Where are the buses? Who are my teachers? Where's the bathroom? What do we have to do for homework? Are the classes hard? Are they easy? So we're going to give us a 2-day orientation for the freshmen. And then the remaining students will come back on August 22nd.
Okay. What will there be in the ways of changes for the next school year?
So the final step of the redesign is going to include the formation of an upper school. So essentially we're going to have a lower school model with a 9th and 10th grade academy, and an upper school model where we're bringing together PFA, HLD, MST, BMF, and HHS to form one superpower upper school that will have opportunities for students to take classes across the different subject areas. But with that design also comes what we're calling a personal pathway model, where students can choose one of 5 different career pathways that will be helping to give them some more background and experiences within a particular career field. So we have business management. We'll have a health career pathway, a STEM career pathway, an public administration pathway, and a performing and fine arts pathway. So all of the themes that we have with our current high schools will be formed into a pathway, but this gives students flexibility to take courses within the pathway, or they can choose to take classes outside the pathway. But we have a group of teachers and faculty members from Lawrence High School and Northern Essex Community College and Merrimack College working on creating what those pathways are going to look like, so that they're connected to careers, they're connected to what types of jobs will be available when you guys graduate from high school.
So tell us about the length of the school and the uniforms. Can you tell us anything about that?
Sure. The school day is going to remain the same for students. Start time is 8 o'clock and the end time is 2:45. We'll continue to have opportunities for students to participate in extracurricular activities, clubs. We're really excited about the different clubs and organizations that will be taking place during the school year. We hope that students not only come to school every every day ready to learn, but that they stay after school and participate in the many different opportunities that we have on campus, from sports, extracurriculars, drama, music, and band, and JROTC, and those types of activities. We're also going to be looking at modifying the uniform policy to reduce the amount of colors, but yes, we will continue with the uniform policy. Since we're going to a lower school and an upper school model, we're going to be able to reduce the number of colors on the campus, because it is a little confusing sometimes with all the different colors in all the different schools. The principals and the student councils were working together to determine what colors would be selected, and so that will be released within the next few days if students don't already know. And that will be shared that should be shared at the school level, and we'll be sending out communications to the families in the next few days so that the incoming freshmen and the returning students all know which color shirts they should buy. We're still going to have expectations around the uniform pants, and we'll be talking about opportunities for dress down days based on if students come up with some goals and we can meet those goals, but that's something that we'll work with very closely between the principals, teachers, and the student councils.
Okay, now we have some questions from the students. They would like to know a few things about next school year. Our first question came from several students who will be seniors next year. They asked, how are these changes going to affect next year's seniors?
So next year's seniors will be affected in a couple of different ways. For one, the space of where the locations that the seniors will be with the juniors is going to be in the C, D, and the E buildings. The good news, the benefits of that is we're going to reduce the amount of foot traffic on the campus and really try to maintain a better sense of transitions between classes, so that we reduce the number of reduce the kind of the hallway congestion that we saw this year with all of the different students moving from building to building. The other change they can see is you know that you had an opportunity about a month ago to choose your elective classes. We grouped the courses by those pathways. So students, we're really being thoughtful about how we organize your elective classes so that they are sequenced in a very logical order to give you some opportunities to get exposed to a particular career field. The other change that you'll see is you'll be grouped into cohorts. So what that means is that there'll be a small group of teachers working with a manageable sized group of students, between 200, 225 students, so that you'll feel, and your teachers will get to know you better, and they'll get to, and we won't have students falling through the cracks as we go from a small school environment to a big upper school environment. We're still going to maintain a cohort model so that students are part of a smaller group. That's happening now in the 9th grade, and it happens in the 10th, so that'll continue in the 11th grade and 12th grade. Seniors could also expect to continue with seminar. We were looking, I think we had some real great progress this year with seminar. It's only going to continue to get better. The goal of seminar is to make sure that we have opportunities for students to get to know a teacher really well. Teacher get to know the students really well in small groups of 18 to 20 students, and also focus on some of the career and college readiness opportunities and programs that may not be able to take place during the course of the regular school day.
Okay, this year the upper academy schools have been known as PFA and HLD and MST and BMF. Will they still be known that way, or are they going to be different?
So we're going to be phasing into an upper school model. So we know that students still maintain some of that identity inside. However, with an upper school model, it'll be all of one upper school campus, and those particular programs or academies will not exist under the new model for next year.
Okay. Nathan, who's a junior, asks, will the upper schools follow the same policies? Because sometimes this year one school would do one thing and the other school would do the same, but they'll call it something different. It seemed kind of disorganized.
So things like, for example, I can think of advisory and seminar, or maybe we talk about a pep rally for the juniors and seniors, and the freshmen and the sophomores weren't included this year. And we want to do our best to make sure that there's consistency across the campus. It has been very challenging, to say the least, to get to that type of consistency. We're going to continue to make sure that we're as consistent and cohesive as possible. So although I can't guarantee it will be as great and perfect as I want it to be and as we want it to be. We're definitely mindful of the fact that there were 6 separate schools all kind of coming together to form one school, and each school had their own rituals and routines and cultures, and we want to try to do our best to maintain that. But as one school and one campus, we have to become more consistent, and Nathan has a great point, and I encourage the students of the class of any class here at Lawrence High School to speak to me or their principal if they have particular concerns or suggestions on how to do a better job with consistency across the campus.
Jose, who is in HHS, asked, what will happen to HHS next year?
So in addition to the remaining 4 academies that are together right now, HHS will come together. Those rising seniors will come together to form the upper school.
Our next question is from Monica, who is currently a junior. She wants to know, will things like homecoming princesses and prom king and queen, will they be representing their academies, or they will be representing the whole campus?
If I had to answer that question right now, I would say they would be representing the whole campus. However, that's a question that would probably be posed to our class advisors as well, who run the prom and working with the students on that. But as we start moving to one campus, we have to start thinking about realizing that they're not going to be the same format and the same structure as we've had in the past. So we're transitioning to a one Lawrence High School, which is going to reduce the amount of prom kings and prom queens, or even in the case of valedictorians, and the number of valedictorians that we'll have on campus. I'll be speaking to the student councils and with the faculty advisors about those changes so that we make the best decisions moving forward.
In May, there were big headlines in the Eagle Tribune about the LHS Library, saying that students had limited access to books, computer labs, and the space. Since the ABBA Lawrence Academy is housed there, some kids are going as far as to say that it's not even a library anymore. Are there any plans for next year to address that?
So we put together, and we're still, we'll continue to form this group. We formed a library Learning Commons Advisory Committee, and we put it out to faculty, students, community members to join that team. And I'll be looking for the report from that team to make recommendations on how to make sure that we can make that library / Learning Commons / ALA space functional for all students. It is, that particular part of the campus belongs to the campus, but it's shared between the campus and Abbott Lawrence Academy. How do we make sure that all of the library services and media services are met for our students, while at the same time dealing with our growing population, ensuring that we have classroom space for the students who are in there right now. So it's a shared space. We want to continue to make sure that it meets the needs of all of our students, that it meets the needs of our faculty, and we're very open to suggestions on how to do that. So it will continue to operate as a library, and we know that there are things that we can improve on, whether it's increasing the number of books, increasing the number of laptops so all students have access to a laptop with a printer when they need to do research, and to provide students with information on how to do research, study skills, and find ways to get more quiet time for students should they want to come in and study for exams or do homework in a more quiet environment.
Anthony, who's a junior, asks, how much change has happened to the Lawrence High School in the past 2 years? What is it that you're trying to change or get rid of, and is anything that's being lost in the process?
Well, the ultimate goal is to make sure that our students graduate from high school and have a really solid post-secondary plan, meaning that we can get, today, last week we had 729 students graduate from Lawrence High School. That's one of the biggest classes in recent memory. And over the summer, we're going to have another 111 students graduate. That's awesome. However, as you know, and the community knows, many of our students don't go to a 2-year or 4-year college after high school. And even more students don't complete college in 4 years. So what we're concerned about is, and what we're working on is to make sure that not only do we continue to graduate students, but we give them the tools and the experiences and the opportunities to be able to complete college or some sort of a career or some sort of a training that's going to get them the social and economic mobility that everyone here in this community deserves. So that's the real end goal, is to make sure that we graduate students ready for college and career, and that's what we're trying to move towards. Therein lies the structured models in 9th and 10th to really build on the foundations, the academic foundations and the social support for students. And moving into the upper school, where we're giving students a little bit more independence and opportunities to engage in the pathway models. And as we move towards the pathway models, we're incorporating dual enrollment opportunities. So next year, there'll be more students who have access to take college classes at Northern Essex Community College and Merrimack College. And the research shows that when students have college credits under their belt while they're in high school, they're more likely to graduate from college. And so we believe that those changes will help get students to the finish line, whether it's, again, not college enough for everyone, but we have to make sure at the high school that we're preparing students for something that is going to give them an opportunity to get into the workforce and earn a middle-class living.
We're at the end of our time. Mr. Fiato, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just to answer the last question around what's lost in the process, I mean, there's always going to be some losses when we make changes. One of the losses will be just the small school environment, which we've done a really good job in cultivating. So we have to figure out ways in which we will keep that environment, whether it's through cohort models, seminar, and maintaining a really strong personalized environment here at the high school so that students feel connected, teachers feel connected, and that's something that we'll work on as we try to improve communication across all of our stakeholders in the coming year.
If someone watching this would like to contact you, how can they do that?
You can simply call the high school at 978-975-2750 or email me. You can find me right on the Lawrence High School website. I'm sure if you Googled me, you could probably find my contact information right there. I'll come to the school and make an appointment.
Okay. Well, Mr. Fiato, thanks for coming in for this last show of the school year. And thank you to everyone for watching. Have a great summer. Bye.